Hello everybody, it's day 11 and it was terribly cold and wet and horrible and very unenjoyable, but I've done it. Yeah, I am absolutely soaked. Everybody, hey. You've just seen the video, little short video of me getting home from my walk. It's been a few minutes since then, enough to get changed and do all the stuff that you need to do. Today has been really difficult, but it's been difficult in a different way than the one a couple of days ago. I didn't have a problem getting out this morning. I didn't have a problem doing the walk. I didn't have a problem getting back. What I had a problem with is my emotions, as it were, because I felt angry. I don't know what it was this morning, but I woke up and I felt angry. All I wanted to do was just be angry today. So I did the only thing I could think of with that anger, and that was to get outside and walk in the absolutely pouring rain and the gales and the generally unpleasant nature it was outside. So that's what I did. I got up, I got dressed, and I did a couple of bits and pieces, and then I went out for my walk. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do as much as I should have done today. I should do 2 miles a day, and I didn't get to 2 miles because it was so rainy, it was so cold, it was just horrendous out there. And I did what I could, and then I came back. Doesn't mean I'm not going to go out again, because I should really go out again and finish the whole 2 miles, because I did about 1.6, maybe 1.7, depending on the exact route that I took, but I didn't finish the full 2 miles, so I feel a little bit disappointed with that. But I'm pleased because I actually went outside. I could have just sat and done nothing today, but I chose to go out. I chose to honour the agreement I made to myself to go out, and although I didn't complete 100%, I still feel that I did an achievement today. So yeah, I'll figure something else out when it comes to finishing off this walk. I may just walk up and down the stairs like 5 or 6 times, absolutely knacker myself out, but it may help towards that final goal. I'll do the comments now, because there's only a couple of them, and basically both comments are pretty much the same. Jimmy C. Berger and Agent Rally 2000 both state that they've had really bad days yesterday, so shit days. Just keep going is the term that they use, and I use the same for them, really. If they have shitty days as well. We all have shitty days. So I need to kind of clarify what I said yesterday regarding the doctors. I'll run through the events of the doctors because it's still pretty close to the old mind. Takes about 4 weeks from the time you ring up for the appointment and the time you actually go to the appointment. I think that's pretty shit, but it's the way it is at the moment. Obviously, it's not life-threatening or anything, so it's, So I go to the appointment 10 to 5 on Monday. That was the time of the appointment, and I got there about 1:45, because you want at least 5 minutes. Make sure that you take your coat off and do all the stuff that you need to do. Prepare yourself to actually go in, and then you sit and wait. Literally sit and wait for 45 minutes. For me, it was 45 minutes exactly. So I got in at 5:30. Should have been in at 10 to 5. Now, what they should have for these sort of things is they have little TVs in the waiting areas, and they literally go through loads of stuff. What they should have is like a little schedule plan for the doctors, saying how much they're late. Okay, just like 5 minutes late, 20 minutes late, 15 minutes late, and every time an appointment goes through, all they could have to do really is press a few buttons to say how long that appointment was and how more they're either later or they're quicker, because not everyone's going to take the same amount of time. That's just the way it is. So, I'm annoyed with the wait, but I think everyone has to wait longer than they. I don't think I've ever had an appointment at the doctor's where I've actually been on. I've been on time, but so has the doctor. So anyway, so it was a decent wait. I mean, it's not a bad. It's a new building for the doctor's surgery, so it's pretty nice in there, and a nice little wait. Bunch of kids playing on tablets and phones, which I'll still never understand. Probably like 9 years old kid and a younger sister. She probably couldn't have been like 5 or 6, playing on tablets and stuff. I mean, I never had a tablet or a phone when I've only just got my smartphone. I've only had it like a year. Before that, I didn't even have a mobile phone. So it's like, I don't understand. Less said about that, the better, as far as I'm concerned. It's kind of a cheap way out of giving kids a bit of a, keep them occupied, give them a tablet, Anyway, so yeah, a couple of old people in there, a couple of people that I didn't know any of them. Let's move the microphone a bit closer. Generally just kind of a normal wait. There was a very pretty young lady come in, probably like 15 minutes after I sat down, and pretty was the wrong word. She was beautiful lady. I don't even know if she was a lady. She can't be more than 20, 21, something like that. Lady, woman, whatever. And I mean, if she was sat next to me, I might have been able to talk to her, but she sat because it was full. There was no choice. She just had to sit wherever she could sit, which is a shame, really, because it'd have been nice. But I ain't got any game. I've got no game when it comes to that sort of stuff. I have no confidence. So it's like, even if she would have sat next to me, I probably wouldn't have said anything, because I'm like a bitch, per se. So yeah, that happened, and then I got called in, and the appointment lasted for like 4 minutes. Because all I said, because you read my history to the doctor, and she looked at me and she nodded. I said, I've got calf problems. Yeah, every time I try and get something done about it, I just get shit, basically saying that because I'm fat, then that's why it happens. But it happens. It happened before I even got fat. So, what's the deal? She said, well, what do you think? Because that's what doctors do these days. They don't actually think for themselves. They ask you what you think, and then if you can come up with something relevant or interesting, then they can clarify it. They say yes or no. They don't actually. Not a lot of doctors do actual clinic stuff, diagnosing and all that. So I said, my PT suggests it may be compression syndrome. I think it's compression syndrome because I've looked up all the symptoms and I've looked up all the stuff online, and I think it's compression syndrome. I don't think it's shin splints. I don't think it's actually really a problem with the muscle of the calf itself. I just think there's a lot of pressure behind the shin, consistent with compression syndrome. And she looked at me and nodded, and she did the old approval thing where she said, well, I think that's right. And she actually asked me this weird question. She said, what's the treatment for this? And I said, well, you have an ultrasound to see what the damage is. And I said, I mean, after that, there's a number of options, but I want to clarify that it actually is this that thing. I didn't have any confidence in the doctor. I really didn't have any confidence. I've known this doctor for years, ever since I moved down to the south, and she's always been really good. But today she just didn't seem like she was on her game today, and it was a bit disappointing. She didn't even look at my calves. She didn't even ask what sort of pain it was or where the pain was coming from. She just kind of let me do what I wanted to do. She just kind of went, well, you know what the problem is, For some people that might be good, but I don't know if it is a compression syndrome. It matches the symptoms and all that sort of stuff, but anyway, she said that there was an ultrasound kind of clinic here at the same doctor's clinic, which was really good, which means that the waiting list shouldn't be too terrible, she said, and obviously you wouldn't have to travel very far to do it, so that's even better. So yeah, I'm just going to have to wait for the letter to come through for that. She says that there isn't really a long waiting list for that thing, but knowing my luck, it will be like 3-4 weeks before I even get to see the ultrasound people, and then on top of that I have to wait another like 2 or 3 weeks before I can actually see the doctor again to get the results. So I don't really see a fix for this in the very near future at all. 6 weeks I reckon before I know anything, which is a bit shit really, because you want to know right now. Really, that's the way it works. You suffer through it and you want to know it right now. And it brings me on to a good point, because today I walked a little bit faster today because I wanted to get out of the fucking rain, because it was horrible and miserable and all I wanted to do was get home. So I walked faster, and the faster I walked, the more pain I felt in my legs. Simple as that. The sooner it came upon my body. And it's a very strange sensation, because it's not actually it's not like a pain, it's like a deadness. My leg goes dead. It literally just goes dead. And it hurts. There is pain there, don't get me wrong, there is pain. So, Anyway, today's been one of those days which I'd really like to forget about quite soon, but I'm not. I'm proud of what I've done today, regardless of how far I've actually walked. So I'll obviously updating the counter for the mileage, and that's it. If you have any questions, any comments or anything like that, please put them in the comments below. I'm always happy to read them, and I always enjoy reading them, regardless of the content. And hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye bye.